Welcome to the Comics News Wire, where we get our news from the comics newsroom found at comicbookadvocates.com. Fridays just got more anchored as C. Michael Lanning takes over to be the head anchor on Weekended, and he will be joined by Meredith Logren. Together, they will bring you all the news you need to know from the week. This is Weekended. They give you the comics news coming off the wire. This show is brought to you in association with
At Geek Insider, we foster relationships with those in the geek sphere so we can give our audience the insider view of entertainment and more.
comicbookadvocates.com is the global digital Comic-Con, but it's more than that. And you can be more too. Be more than just a fan. Become an advocate for comics like comicbookadvocates.com is for their creators, for their crowdfunding, for the very books they're creating, because we love comics. Warning and disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this live feed are those of the guests, speakers, and or hosts, and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs, official policies, ethics, or positions of the content providers, advertisers, additional hosts, and or guests, hosting sites, groups, or entities attached to this programming. Viewer discretion is advised. It is Friday, January 8th, 2021. Welcome to the brand new year, and of course, Weekended is here to tell you about the week that just happened in the comics industry. I'm passing it off to C. Michael Lanning.
All right. Hi, I'm C. Michael Lanning. And of course, if you hear my face, that means it's Friday. And of course, this is Weekended. I'm a freelance artist who's worked with Silverline Comics and other upcoming projects, one of which is an alternate cover for the upcoming Silverline Comics Kickstarter coming January 14th. So be sure to look for that. And of course, this is our first show of the year 21. We're not going to say the other part. And we're excited to be here. So it's great day today. And as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-anchor, Meredith Logren. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. Hello, everybody. Meredith Logren here. I am the associate editor of Geek Insider, as well as the executive producer of the Geek Insider podcast. And I wear many hats, including one of the founding members of Terraform Comics, and we have a lot of exciting stuff that's happening in 21. And I've also got a Kickstarter happening right now. It is the Compendium of Dread, an anthology of dark fiction. But we're not here for me. Let's get on with the news.
Let's do it. And there's some exciting news we have ahead of us. So let's see them headlines. Right. Let's see if we can see them a little bit bigger. All right. Do you want to take the first one?
I could take the first one. So this is from Matt King, and he posted this to Comic Related Madness. I can't even, says Manfred the Man Machine, in our upcoming Tales of Enlightened graphic novel, art by James Edward Clark. So you can head over to, where is this? I'm having a hard time following this without reading the whole damn thing because it's a lot of names and we don't need to do that. So I guess Tales to Enlighten.
It's coming soon.
Go to Comic Related Madness and you will see a lot of those links that you can follow. Sign up for their newsletter and see what's happening. I like the art.
Yeah.
And we also quickly want to apologize. He was supposed to be on our Tuesday show, but somehow the link didn't manifest the way it was supposed to, and we wound up missing him, so we apologize from CNW. But yeah,
I kind of like that. I like that grunge kind of, pastel art.
Yeah. I like art that just kind of takes courage, to come out there. Not that it's good art, so
yeah,
I like it. It looks weird. I like weird.
I like weird too.
All right, what do we got here? From Brian Menard, Nia is an orphan. Yes. Yeah. All right, that's better. Thank you, guy in the sky. Nia is an orphan with an extraordinary ability that she has to keep secret from the forces occupying her country. or else be used as a weapon against her own people. Join Dojo Kun Comics on our journey to bringing you the graphic novel adaptation of award-winning author Janice Hardy's The Healing Wars, Book 1, The Shifter, and look for that on Kickstarter. Right, that sounds interesting.
All right, and we're heading down here. Oh, do you want that? It's Star Wars, kind of.
Well, yeah, I'll take it, I guess. Sure, why not? All right, Mark Hamill's recording more Skeletor with Kevin Smith for Netflix's Masters of the Universe. Nice. Of course, we all know Mark Hamill not only as Luke Skywalker, but he's also the Joker on the animated series, so he's more than capable of handling the evil Skeletor, which will be interesting to see when that comes out. And of course, if you want to know more, it's on comicbook.com.
And more Mark Hamill? What is this? All eyes are on George's crew. Nope, not going there. Move along. Move along.
We got it. Mark Hamill, awesome.
I'm not doing any kind of politics. I'm only doing comics, guys. Just to let you know. Okay, so I'll take this one. Two Scout Geeks. Sorry, due to unforeseen circumstances, the latest issue of Two Scout Geeks will be delayed by 1 day. Sorry for the inconvenience, but I guess we need to hit the see more button. See more. There you go. Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience, but we have a good one for you. We'll discuss Soulstream Comic and The Shepherd, and we'll speak to Andrea Lorenzo Molinari and his son Roberto Tuesday, January 5th. Did we miss that? What day is it? I don't even know.
Oh, it was today's January 8th. So
yeah. So that was a couple days ago. Anyway, head over to Two Scout Geeks, and they've got a podcast. Check it out.
Yeah, and just a quick heads up about the post from Twitter. That was actually supposed to be about him being with Kevin Smith. I'm not sure how Twitter got that reversed, but it was actually a picture originally of him hanging out with it. We'll remove it now because clearly something happened on Twitter. Not sure what. Something got crossed. We apologize for that.
That's all right. Well, let's see. We got, of course, Star Wars High Republic explained and release guides, books, comics, and show. The Star Wars franchise is expanding into the High Republic era, and here's everything you need to know about the books, comics, and shows. Of course, the High Republic, for those who don't know, it sets 200 years before a Skywalker ever graced the galaxy. So you want to check that out. That's why I've been waiting for stories like this. Of course, you can check that out on screenrant.com.
All right, and we're scrolling. Mr. Announcer Voice, what are we going to do with you? It's that or I'm lagging. It could be. No, my internet has not been a happy thing today. Okay, so this is from Simon Sim Pothier. Here's a little tease from the new NAT and Z pages, penciled and inked by me and will be colored by Spartan Scotsman. Tales from the Natverse #1 by Sim and the Inkslayer crew. That is available at Indiegogo. So make sure. I love that art.
I'm telling you, I was thinking, do you sure you want to color that? If you have to have a major colorist for that, I'm telling you.
I would probably leave like a black and white option. I don't know.
Absolutely. It looks great.
I think I'd like to see it a side by side with that too. Yeah.
Hey, that would work. That would definitely work. Sounds like a reward. Maybe think about that. So, IDW Transformers comic book solicitations for March 2021. Now, judging by this picture, is this a transformer or an alligator, or is it both? That's kind of a weird looking transformer.
You're going to have to go to cybertron.com.
It's part of the Beast Wars line.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like Beast Wars. All right.
And we did cover that already. So moving along here. What is this? This is from space.com. Star-crossed teens witness the doom of Krypton in DC Comics' new House of L graphic novel.
Ooh.
Head over to space.com to find out more.
Oh, my. Well, look at this. This is from Marianne Childers comic, hosted in Comic Related Madness. And let's see. This is a long one. Right? Ready?
I'm ready.
I'm satisfied for now. Here's a character from my comic book series, Obelisk, I'm working on. That will hopefully be out by next year. after funds and everything, sets a solid schedule. I don't want to generate too much hype at the moment, mainly because everything is not a straight road and well. I'm the only one working on it. So far, the first issue is done, cover art is done, I'm working on character reference sheets for myself, and then I'm off to penciling the pages. A king, the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name is in Hebrew is Abaddon, and in Greek Apollyon, and Latin Extremanes, from Revelation 9:11. Okay. So check that out. It'll be coming soon, I guess. Hopefully.
Well, it's neat to have. I love that journey. I love the creative journey. Where if you want to share your sketches and things like that, so it starts getting into the consciousness of others, and then as you develop the characters and things like that, and sharing it out. I think it's a good marketing idea.
But everybody likes behind the scenes. We like to see how something's made sometimes. So It's really cool to see.
So now here we go with comicbook.com. We've got Zack Snyder reveals very different Wonder Woman historical photo that was planned for Batman versus Superman.
Ah, okay.
That is comicbook.com. That looks interesting.
The hint here is to look what she's holding in her hands.
Mm-hmm. I can't tell from the picture. It kind of looks like a spear or a javelin.
Well, in the original, in what showed up in Batman versus Superman is her in the picture in the World War II folks and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they decided to set her origin a little bit. Oh, look at that!
Yeah, that definitely looks like a spear. But what
I'm looking
is
at
that?
the other hand. It looks like some heads.
We're talking about the other hand.
Yeah.
Oh, the other hand.
Yeah, it looks like three heads.
I wasn't even looking at that.
That is definitely a different Wonder Woman than we're used to seeing.
Oh, I like that one. Yes, please.
Oh my. Maybe we could do a little retcon or something in there.
See, but I like horror, so
That's the perfect image for this moment, though. The guy looking down.
Like,
what is Wonder Woman doing?
Why Wonder Woman? Why? I'm like, yes, please, yes.
I guess you read that lasso of truth a little too tight. All right. Of course, this is from Gamal Hennessy. Y'all know Gamal. This month's newsletter looks back at the ups and downs of the comics industry in 2020, as well as some enduring truths creators and publishers can internalize. You want to check that out at creativecontractconsulting.com. Of course, the link's over here on Comics Newswire. So if you want to get over here and look at it, go ahead and click. It was sure to be interesting from Gamal.
Okay, and this is from flickeringmyth.com, comic book preview, Future State Wonder Woman #1. So Wonder Woman is really coming out here, isn't she? Coinciding with the release today, DC Comics has shared a preview of Future State Wonder Woman #1, which we have for you here. Take a look over at flickeringmyth.com.
Looks nice. All right. So here we go. This is from Evan Pizios. I don't know if I'm saying that right, so forgive me, Evan. But, hi, friends. I'm writing a superhero story featuring the art of Stefano Cordellicelli. I probably didn't say that one right either. Look for it April 13th on Kickstarter as part of Brian Silverback's Tales from Kira Prime anthology project. It puts a spotlight on some of the best talent in the industry. Be sure to check it out. And that's April 13th, live on Kickstarter. So, yeah, go check that out. Of course, we have a couple more months to get ready to save up your money for it. So,
Okay, and from the Comics Newswire, the weekly poll, DC's Future State, Star Wars, The High Republic, Eternals, and more. Their typos, not ours. Thanks for clarifying that announcer voice, guy. It is nearly the first comic book day of 21. New releases are on the way. Go to comicbook.com to find out more.
And of course,
Wait a minute. When was Comic Book Day?
Well, the new comics came out this past Wednesday, so that would be the first time this year. So we're starting it off. I guess we're kind of starting it off right, getting right into it. So,
but remember, DC now comes out on Tuesdays as they have a different distributor. So there is a bit of a conflict. And what you're talking about, I think, is Free Comic Book Day.
I think so.
Yeah, that'll be happening this year in August of 21.
Okay.
They have announced it. I actually have, and so does Lanning has the newest issue of previews. And on the side of the actual cover, if you turn it sideways, it actually says Free Comic Book Day, August 14th, 21.
Make sure I'm holding it up the right way. I'm just holding it up upside down.
Yeah, we had announced that a few weeks ago. And of course, remember to check out all the things in previews right now.
Oh, yeah.
Including Cat Dad and Supermom, a comic to help kids create comics, and Bill and Chipper. All amazing, all ages friendly, getting comics in kids' hands.
Well, let me ask you, announcer voice guy. Does Bobby Gregory have a video for Cat Dad and Supermom?
They didn't do a video yet because they're working towards the actual second Kickstarter right now. The second book is actually being finished right now. And previews is one of those things where you don't really get to interact as much as you think online with comic book shop owners. It's really getting your fans, your supporters, your backers to really get out to the comic book stores. Yeah. And that's kind of been part of my job as the advocate. I've been really trying to not only help him, Richard Rivera, Scout Comics, and anyone in previews. If you're listening and you're going to be in previews this year, please let us know, as we have mixed it in to be part of crowdfunding. As I believe personally it's part of crowdfunding. Chuck doesn't fully agree, but I'll get him to come to my side this year. But for now, it really is just about getting people to have great comic books, working more with the shops. We're trying to interact with them. You don't really do a video for previews. There was talk about making like a book trailer for the property Cat Dad, I know. That didn't happen. It didn't work out timing-wise. But, I mean, previews really is one of those things where you want to motivate your fan base. And it's basically the people who've been your fan are going to the stores and asking.
Well, see, and that's the thing I like to also emphasize for people who are just fans that are listening. And go talk to your comic book shop owners. They want to know what you want. They want to order that stuff for you, and they're real friendly about it, I'm sure. You're talking about getting something that you're going to buy from them, and they're going to benefit also. So make sure to say, I like this book that I saw online, and they'll help you out to find out what it is and probably order it for you if they can get it.
Exactly.
And stuff like what's launching on January 28th from CB Zane, Into the Suck. The epic conclusion to the sci-fi story arc launches January 28th. We could go up just a little bit. Ursula Stormholder has seen her father in prison in the hands of the royals, led by Cyrus, the sinister brother of her lover, Ruck. Meanwhile, the evil Azine has a devious plan that could launch the Second Great War and mean doom for all. And it all started with the abduction of a lowly earthling. Here's the first teaser for the mini covers for Into the Suck number 6. Welcome Francisco Tomaselli to Outpost 426, Stormholder Entertainment, and Into the Suck. I absolutely love this style. Of course, you want to come over to Comics Newswire, check it out. Get a good look. It's great art right there.
And that looks like Kara Nicole, who is going to be a guest on Geekgasm this coming Wednesday.
Cool.
So make sure that you guys tune into Geekgasm.
Yes.
Okay, so here we go. Comics Newswire says the next Batman's John Ridley reveals why he chose Tim Fox and what future state brings to the Batman franchise. And you can find that at comicbook.com. So what is it? The arrival of Dark Knights number 7? Is that what that was?
I believe so. Or was it Dark Metal?
Dark Metal number 7. Okay.
Dark Knights Metal. Yeah.
Death Metal.
Death Metal. I'm sorry.
Death Metal.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I read Dark Knights and then Death Metal. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, there's a whole new slate coming. It's a whole new multiverse that lives on a multi-dimensional plane. It's actually quite interesting. Mm-hmm. They basically have even made a new realm called Elserealm, basically covering all their Elseworlds. So they basically kicked open the door to let anything happen now. And they can explain it away by putting it on different dimensional, alternate reality dimensions. Kind of like Star Trek when they did the reverse one. I forgot what they call it, but they have that weird reverse land. It's kind of that idea.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, we see the kind of a new lineup right here in this next part is DC creates a shocking new team in Dark Knight's Death Metal finale, which will be interesting to see. You check it out on comicbook.com.
And I was going to say, you know, by opening up those multiverses, it's really exciting as a writer and a creator to go, oh, the possibilities, you know?
Yep.
Very cool.
Kind of like a Marvel what if.
Mm-hmm. All right, and this is from Sebastian Bonnet, the Nerds of the Round. Join us as we chat with A.A. Rubin, Aaron Donnelly, and Buddy Scalera about the Comic Book School Creators Connection Panel 1 Anthology, which is available for free if you head over to comicbookschool.com. It is 144 pages of goodness. Make sure you download it today.
And remember that that's all different creators who didn't give up via 2020. They kept going despite the odds, despite seeing shows canceled. I have something in there. As a matter of fact, I'll even play you guys a video from the truck just because we really want you guys to get that free comic. And it has nothing to do with the glitch that's going on in the background that I'm trying to fix. Just keep watching the videos. Keep watching the videos. Don't worry about what I'm doing. Here you go.
The man behind the curtain.
Exactly. This is my creative journey. My name is Mr. Anderson. I'm known as the Comics Advocate and Uncanny Devil. But more importantly, before all that began, I was just a creator trying to find my way. And thanks to Comic Book School, I did find my way. Check out my creative journey, see the roadblocks that I had, how Comic Book School inspired me, and all the great art brought to life by all these amazing creators who joined me on this creative journey. This is my answer to the 8-page challenge, and I hope it inspires your creative journey, and I hope it inspires you to take the next 8-page challenge. Now, Meredith, this was something that was brought together by different creators. Would you like to take a minute and talk about the upcoming Terraform thing? Because you and Lanning here are going to be part of it. You actually are officially greenlit to be part of it, and you guys are going to be in the initial issue of it. So go ahead and take a minute and talk about it. And this is, by the way, what we're talking about is Terraformed Continuum, which you can find. It's a private group to be part of. So you have to be a member of it to get in it. But once you're in it, there's a lot you can learn. So go ahead, Meredith.
And once you're in it, we'll never let you out.
Yes, yes. Okay, so Terraformed Continuum is a collection of stories, and we have invited a whole bunch of artists, writers, letterers, anybody who wants to be a part of the creative process, even if you are learning it for the first time. So, you know, with the project that C and I are working on, I don't know how much we want to tell, but it is tentatively called Reapers, and there's a story behind the name as well. And it is kind of a cyberpunk rockabilly. See, go ahead.
Well, yeah, it's a paranormal cyberpunk comic with a flair of rockabilly. Of course, you know, when you're able to harvest ghosts into energy, a lot of black market cults show up. So we got to see some of our characters have to deal with those type of cults and everything. Mm-hmm. So yeah, check, you know, of course it's just a preview, so please check it out.
But the really cool thing was, because we were in Terraformed Continuum and we started those conversations like, hey, you know, I'd like to write a story, and C was like, I have a story idea. He's like, but I'm not that strong as a writer. And I was like, well, I'll collaborate with you. And so it was really a fun process to kind of write down some prose. He got some ideas together. And then through that, we were able to send it to Rob and a few others in Terraform for feedback and where we can make it better. And so to have those pages put into the first edition of Terraformed Continuum is very exciting. And I cannot wait until you guys see the art. And Rob, can I tell them a little bit of the feedback? Do we have time for that? Okay, yeah. So it was so funny because C is so talented, and he sent me the images, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I love it. And so the first thing that Rob asked me was, well, did you compare it to the script? And I was like, no, I was just enamored with the art. And he goes, well, let's sit down and talk it through. And then we were able to pull him in. So that whole process to make a product better, that's what we want with Terraform. That is changing the landscape of comics, is by having that collaborative process, being open to it, and really stepping up our game as far as making comics and really good books. So
That's right.
that's something that you can look forward to in 21.
Everybody wants to put out a good product, and the best way to do that is to work together. It's always great to have fresh eyes on a project.
Yeah.
So absolutely. And we do want to say that the type of thing that we're aiming to be as far as a company is one that actually puts our contract on our front page. So we don't hide anything. It's out in the open. There it is. That's our contract. That's what you'll be signing. And so Michael and Meredith keep the property. It's their property. They're not signing anything away. Terraform. The only time Terraform will own anything under Terraform's continuum is if I get involved and I start creating characters. If Meredith gets involved and starts creating characters, or any of our founders, or even our editorial staff starts getting to the point where we're taking your story, like basically what Meredith did with Michael, took the idea and made it into something, but they did that outside of Terraform. And as founders, we get to establish that. There are times you'll see something from me coming out that I have already said this can be a Terraform book. But here's the thing with Terraform, and I want to stress this. We don't want to be Marvel or DC. We'd love to see Meredith and Michael jump to a bigger brand. We're okay with that. We're about changing the landscape. That means we want to work with all the creators we can and build this giant library. We'll have a couple series. We'll continue to be able to print these books. We're going to be able to inspire people. That's how you change things. You stopped all the things that you hated when you came up as a creator. I know a couple people have said during this process that they enjoyed the fact that I took so much time to not only read it, but give them feedback. And it was positive and negative. And I hate the word negative because it's just honest. It's, hey, these are the things that have to change. And when it's not a big deal, I say, hey, listen, I see it this way. This isn't a deal breaker. You do whatever you do. I think it'll make it better, but that's your call. You're the creator. And if it's and no, you have to change this because this is this and this is this. And people get it because someone's taking the time to actually explain it. I don't just tell them, shut up and do it. That's not the point. I want people to feel like when they worked with us, they learned something, and now they want to go out and keep creating. Because I know a lot of creators, the first time they create a book with someone, they hate the process. It's almost like they want to quit right after it because of how hard it really was to work with people, and it's disheartening. And I want to give people like the starting point, especially where they can turn around and know that one day when they're working with, like, let's say a Scout Comics, they can come back and go, hey, Rob, I have a question for you. What about this, this, and this? And know that there'll be someone who will answer their message. Meredith, Luke Stone, a Varian Grant, and Eric Hodson, we'll be there. And that's what this industry is about. It's about talking to each other, and together we make a better industry. And that's how you change the landscape. You go to the very beginning with all the creators and you show them the way. You don't shit on them. You don't piss on them. You don't go, well, I went through it, so now it's your turn. Absolutely not.
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
And I do want to stress that, any feedback that you get from the Terraform Comics team is not the end all be all. I know that Rob said that, but I do want to stress it again. Where as a creator, whether you are the artist or the writer, if you can come back and say, no, well, this is where I was going with that, because they're not seeing the whole picture. We're seeing it step by step. If you can argue that back, they'll be like, oh, hey, okay. Now I see what your vision is. Make it happen, and hopefully that you can deliver on that.
Yep. And when you do that, you end up being able to even add more or take away, depending, that helps that story along. And we're here to serve the story, not the other way around. So,
So whose turn is it to read?
Hey, go right ahead, please.
Okay. All right. So we've got here from Flickering Myth, comic book preview, Blade Runner 2019. Home again. Next month sees the release of Blade Runner 2019, Volume 3, a continuing Titan Comics acclaimed collection of in-canon, storylines. So head over to flickeringmyth.com and find out more. I like Blade Runner.
I guess that's what I was thinking. I guess we have to look at Blade Runner now as kind of an alternate reality instead of a futuristic property now, considering that we've caught up to it.
Kind of weird, right?
Yeah. So,
after this week, how far wrong is it?
Well,
been a long week.
It's been,
It's been a week.
When I see expiring replicants, I'll let you know. All right. So here we go from Chuck Pinot. Chuck sits down with indie comics interviewer and secondhand retailer / market speculator Andrew Davis. And I assume that's over on Chuck's channel. go check that out because that's got to be an interesting conversation there. Market speculator. I like that.
Very interesting. All right. Comic book reviews this week for January 6th of 21. Welcome to the week in comic book reviews. Head over to comicbook.com to see what it was that this staff was talking about.
Right. It looks like we got some artwork coming up from Jerry. I'm going to try. Zakushu. Okay. E4 Comics. Look, it's E4 Comics. Let's go.
Ding,
I
ding,
told
ding.
you I could pronounce it. Merry Christmas from E4 Comics. Here are some pages from the new issues of The Elements, The Awakening. And of course, E4 Comics has continually showed us previews, and it's always exciting to see. So keep trucking E4 Comics. Check that out. Come check out Comics Newswire. Look at the pages. Or go see if you can find E4 Comics.
Oh, Lucifer. I love this. I love this guy. Okay, how Lucifer referenced a key comics writer. The Lucifer TV series made reference to one of the key comics writers to work on the character with a Satanist. Interesting. You can find this on cbr.com and read more. But I am so glad to see that the series is coming back. Because he was in another show, and I can't remember what it was. And everybody was like, "Oh, it's Lucifer!" And,
he showed up in
what was it?
Was it? It was the CW universe, I believe. He showed up. He showed up.
Announcer voice guy. Do you remember?
I guess him and Constantine. They were kind of. It was a multiverse type of thing happening.
Yes, and that was
Crisis of Infinity Earths. Was it? Announcer guy.
The Crisis on Infinity Earths. That was the CW crossover, and now there's big speculation that they're gonna admit that the multiverse is there, and Lucifer could have more of a tie-in, as Constantine is scheduled to get maybe a spinoff. Of course, 2020 has changed a lot of things, so we are still waiting for confirmation now, because when that was announced, it was before everything went to 2020. That's my new slogan: when everything goes to 2020.
Well, the interesting thing, and also the interesting thing about that, and Constantine and Lucifer, is you also get to see them in Sandman by Neil Gaiman. And the Sandman is actually coming to a series pretty soon too, so maybe they'll tie that in. We'll see. Everybody's waiting for that.
For those who don't know, Lucifer actually started in Sandman.
He sure did. Yep, he is kind of a Neil Gaiman character.
Very, very cool. Looking forward to that. Okay, so 2020 has had its hurdles, but creators found a way to has found a way. So let's celebrate all of those creators who jumped over the hurdles of a year and jumped over 2020 and kept creating. So the Independent Creator Awards are coming up. If you head over to that Facebook group, there are going to be several polls where you can vote on people for these awards. We've got artists, we've got writers, we've got podcasters. I mean, basically anything that kind of orbits the world of comic books and advocacy for them. We are going to be celebrating them on the final day, and this is something that I'd like Rob or Announcer Voice Guy to announce a little bit more on, is the In Memoriam.
I think everyone knows who I am. I don't think you guys have to.
I'm just trying to, because we've got Rob Anderson, we've got Announcer Voice Guy, and we've got Bobby Gregory, and you guys, you're like...
Bobby Gregory's a totally different person. Announcer Voice Guy is just another...
I know, but you guys are always, you guys are like thick and thin. It's really hard to differentiate sometimes.
Announcer's the same guy as Rob. That's it. It's just... the whole thing is that this show's about Meredith, and it's about Michael, and this is their show now. I'm here as the announcer. To do establishing things, do things in the background when there's a mistake in coding. You don't have to watch me looking down. So, but to the point that Meredith is trying to make, what was the question? I just got lost.
In Memoriam.
Oh, the In Memoriam. Yeah, it's probably why I didn't think of it, because it's the hard one. Mm-hmm. We're actually going to be putting together a video of everyone who passed away in 2020, and we're going to start counting it this year. Of all the creative, and it's one of the harder things that we're going to be doing, because you're going to have to acknowledge the passing of someone. We'll get some nice, like, mellow music off YouTube on their list, and we'll put up the names. Meredith's actually going to make the video this year. She was like, "Do you want me to do it?" I was like, "Yes." Usually we'll fight over some things, and I'll be like, "No, I can do it." This one, I was like, "Yeah, if you don't mind," because this one's going to be hard. We'll play it on the last night. of the shows. Meredith starts off the extravaganza on the I want to say 21st is Meredith on February 21st, 28th is Varian, the 7th is Chuck's Shop Talk, and then the 14th will be where I take over Comic Book Advocates, and Chuck will be there. We're going to try to get Michael C. Lanning in there too. Maybe we'll get him like as a reporter, a roving reporter. We'll have him do some.
Go to the other side of the bedroom. No problem.
One of the things about the in memoriam is make sure that that you send it either in the in this group or contact us directly so that we can include those names. We don't want to forget anybody, and if we do, it's because it wasn't on our personal radar. So please send it to us. And one thing that you might not know about me is that I was formerly the manager of the obituary department in a local newspaper, as well as a funeral singer. So these things don't bother me. For me, it's a celebration of life. And so even though it's a hard topic, I think it's a worthy one. And so let's celebrate the creators who did pass in 2020.
Absolutely.
All right, moving on. Speaking of passing torches, this is interesting.
Now, how Death Metal's finale sets up the new DC universe. Scott Snyder reveals how Dark Knight's Death Metal was planned to tee up Future State at Infinite Frontier while teasing big things to come. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to go over to CBR.com and look that up.
I will say this. I think this is exciting. I know a lot of people have their opinions about it. And I'll put it this way and I'll let it go. And I think this is important for everyone listening. They're taking a big swing here on purpose to not only they're trying to do it all. They're trying to do a Mandalorian here. They're trying to get the older fans happy and invite new fans in a way that doesn't disrespect either one. They found a way to make it work. Give it a chance. I like the new 52, to be honest with you. I hated when you could see editorial, the above bosses like, oh, sales are going down. We have to do something. And you could feel there was that moment where they balked. I didn't like the Batman bunny. But Gordon as Batman was interesting. It was an interesting change. I didn't like it, but it was interesting. Batman coming back to life wasn't like that's what comics are supposed to do. They're supposed to entertain you. They're not gospel guys. They're not supposed to be how you live your. Although I do plan to make it a religion in 22. Stay tuned. But until I make it a religion, it's not gospel. And when it is a religion, we won't ever preach that everything has to be right. You take your moments. I saw today they were talking about, and it's coming up on the Friday section, about the Starfire young I'm not Starfire young
right
thing. Yep. A lot of people are like really not liking it because of the way it's going. Look, they're trying to reach out to an audience. It's a novel. It's not meant to be the main thing. Appreciate that someone's creating content. I mean, like that's what you need as a comic book fan. If it's not your flavor, go to what is. You know, stay in your lane, kids. I seen you drive. Use the fucking blinker.
Well, look on the positive side of what you see. That's the best thing to do. There's always a silver lining. What? Okay.
I saw what you did there.
Cheap pop.
All right, from Lloyd Smith, still holding out on trying Blue Moon Comics. Does this tempt you to drive in? Head over to Blue Moon Comics for only $1.25 each during the rest of January. So there is plenty of time. Drive through comics. Get yours now.
Nice. Ashaman. That's an interesting title. That's kind of say that 5 times fast. All right, some more Dark Knight's Death Metal. We're going to find out what happens to the Batman who laughs. Of course, you look, and then of course they have an article over there on comicbook.com where they talks about number 7 delivers an epic battle between Wonder Woman and the Batman who laughs. After that picture we saw earlier, he might need to watch out. Check that out on comicbook.com.
And we're scrolling here. Man in the Mask. Okay, so this is from Mike W. Belcher. Man in the Mask issue number 2 and the second Halloween special are now available for order from Indie Planet. Make sure you head over to indieplanet.com/AMK-comics. Get your copies today.
Yep, Mike's a great guy. Go check that out. Whoa, Wonder Woman 1984 falls victim to the weirdest comic book movie trope. Wonder Woman 1984 is the latest comic book movie to feature the trope of having a nerdy character evolve into a sophisticated supervillain. Well, sometimes it works.
Is that weird?
I actually disagree wholeheartedly with this one. I think that you have seen in my life, I've seen nerdy girls suddenly get hot, change how they act, become more confident, and not hide. There's a book, the Heroing by the Hour. I haven't had it made yet, but it's the basic concept that someone gets powers and they instantly become these almost gods on Earth. Yeah. If you really think about it, like superheroes are gods on Earth, and for the most part, and at the very beginning, all people are bad guys at first, because once you're given that power, you kind of are consumed by it, and you suddenly realize that you don't have to follow anyone else's rules anymore. Right. You can get away with a lot more. It actually makes a lot of sense to me, and I base that all off a teenage girl. The idea of the entire idea of that was from a teenage girl. And even the fact that later some of the characters will go on redemption stories. One of the more famous redemption stories in comics is Rogue.
But is it? Yeah, that's true. But to say it's the weirdest comic book movie?
I don't agree that's weird. I think it's probably more common.
Hey, of course.
I don't know.
If you're dealing with a nerdy character, and it kind of emphasizes that sophisticated supervillain, well, they're a nerd. Of course they're going to be sophisticated. Were they so turn stupid? That makes sense.
I think what they're trying to say is that most nerds don't evolve. I think it's almost a swipe at nerds. I'll tell you a lot of times, though, and it's true, when I go to, and I've said this, when I go to a show and I'm showing off anything like my arms, which are tattooed and they're muscular, there are people who look at me like, whoa, what are you doing here? And you can see it in their eyes. Like suddenly, because I'm not a thin little white guy anymore that looks like I'm 10 pounds soaking wet, I'm not allowed to be a geek or a nerd anymore. So there's pushback the other way too, but I find it's more for guys than it is girls. Like you never see, and especially with sales on Kickstarter, where you have 55 backers that made $5,000 to $10,000, that sex sells. So you take this very attractive character and then you make her hotter. Duh. Everyone likes to be the princess.
She's all that of DC Comics.
And here we go. Something from John Celestri.
Meredith?
Okay. John Celestri, my family ran a Catholic religious gift shop in Brooklyn from 1964 to 1990. Directly across the street was the area's mob hangout, the 1717 Club. So you're getting to see some sketches in here, a little bit of insight into the dialogue, and it looks really interesting. Yeah. Love seeing this stuff from John Celestri.
What I'm amazed about is this was John Celestri as a kid. He still had a mustache. Look, there he is as a kid.
Yeah. So looks like, okay, now we have...
We love you, John.
Ray Fisher, Cyborg, reportedly written out of the Flash movie. No truth to recasting rumors. So you might have heard Cyborg was going to be recasted, but that's not going to happen. He's not going to be there at all. So if you want to know what that's about, go check it out at comicbook.com, where the saga continues.
I guess it was the weakest link, huh?
Well, it had a lot to do with the complaints that he had lodged. We had covered a few weeks ago. He decided not to come back to the role, by the way. They're choosing not to recast it, I think, to respect everything he went through. With the Snyder Cut, for all we know, Cyborg dies. That's not a spoiler, that's a guess. So don't get mad at me if it's true. So Snyder might have actually killed him in that book, that movie. And if they're going to go with Snyder's vision, it might not matter. They might not have to recast him.
Well, and Ray Fisher's Cyborg didn't have enough time for us to really get to know him. So I kind of settled on the Doom Patrol Cyborg. I like him a lot. So
I haven't gotten there, but I will. One thing we've gotten back to is the Comic-Con forecast, which now is live. The Comic-Con Highway is official. Some bumps already. MegaCon got canceled this week as a headline. Both Tampa Bay Comic-Con and Raleigh, North Carolina's GalaxyCon Raleigh are going to be competing for the same weekend. Two big shows for the first time that we see. There's also talk about San Diego Comic-Con being in August, pushed back a little later this year at the very end of July. It's going to be a messy year stay tuned to us. We'll try to untangle as much of it as we can.
Mm-hmm. Now, Rob, are you planning on going to the DeLand Comics and Collectibles show?
I won't be there as a creator, but as long as I can get my car fixed next week, because it's going in on Monday, fingers crossed, I will be trying to go to D-Land, which I believe we'll be showing an ad for on the Friday section, which is coming up
Cool.
soon.
Cool.
All right.
All right. Is this you, C?
No, this is you.
Oh, okay. So Zack Snyder reveals which Marvel comic he wants to adapt. Zack Snyder's Justice League director recently revealed that he'd be interested in directing a film starring Daredevil and Elektra, and you can find that on CBR.com.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. When you hear Zack Snyder wanting to adapt a comic book, you're kind of hoping it's a Scott Snyder book. Just because I think that'd be interesting. A little Court of Owls from Batman, maybe by Zack Snyder. I'm just saying. But
Something's unavailable.
Let's see what's not available. This happens sometimes where we don't get it in the news, but if you click it, you can get to it. Watch on Facebook, because sometimes it does that. Oh, it's Backer Paws. I don't know why it didn't let that share. This was just filmed the other day with Meredith.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we just did this the other day. I don't know why our own program can't be shown here, but it was just Backer Paws, which you can find by now going to our actual entire crowdfunding is easily found simply by going to comicadvocates.com. And you can find the Comic-Con Highway by going to advocatecomics.com. It's a very dyslexic world I live in, but I work it somehow.
Coming from comic-watch.com, we see the sensational Wonder Woman #1, Honey, I'm Home. Talking about DC's digital sensational Wonder Woman #1. Starts off with a bang. And we want to know what that is? Well, go to comic-watch.com.
Mm-hmm. That's a new site that we haven't seen on the news before, I think.
We see it rarely because sometimes they cover it's a site I think that's trying to level up right now, and I respect that. I don't cover their other things that they sometimes do that feel cringeworthy or too much rumor mill stuff, but they actually have been leveling up, so you'll probably be seeing them more in the future.
Mm-hmm. So here we are with the Independent Creator Awards again, and you head over there to the Facebook group, and again, you can vote. Geek Insider is sponsoring the first one. We're going to be hosting it on the 21st at 4 p.m. Eastern. We are doing the section of art, so there's going to be splash pages that you can nominate here. Make sure that you share the art here that you want to nominate. And then there are things like architecture. I don't know if that's going to be in the news, Rob, but there are a lot of different things as far as like cover art. Maybe, here we have the splash page. There's going to be sequential art and a few other categories. So head over to Independent Creator Awards, join the Facebook group, put in your vote, and if they qualify, nominate somebody. Put it in the comments.
Absolutely. And you'll see a couple more of these throughout the show today, as we're going to be sure to be talking about it. You can also find the awards by going to our newsroom right now. Of course, can be found at the comicsnewswire.com. And in the actual section every week until the awards are over, you will see every active poll contained within one area of our site. So,
all right. Well, continuing the long-standing diversity in comics, we see 10 comics from the Philippines that deserve your attention. Philippine comics have a rich history that stretches all the way back to the late 1800s, and some are long overdue for a worldwide breakthrough. Want to find out what they are? Well, you go over to CBR.com and take a look at it. From what I see here, it looks pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. I love seeing artwork and things from overseas, and to try and get them over to our market is pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to that.
I like to see. That's the thing about comics. It opens it up and get to see all sorts of good stuff.
Yeah. Especially with the diversity in art, too.
Yes.
I mean, there are some places that have really distinguishable type of art forms and things. So anyway, from Evan Posios. So a couple of days ago, I announced that I had the honor and privilege of writing a Red Hawk story for Brian Silverback's Tale from Kira Prime. This is on Kickstarter. That is going to be launching on April 13th. So I don't know if it's up there on Kickstarter where you can hit the notify me button, but make sure that you stay tuned. Follow Brian Silverbacks, follow Evan Posios, and learn more about silence.
Newswatch, Aftershock Comics announces new series project, Patron, by writer Steve Orlando and artist Patrick Piazzalunga.
Yatzalunga.
You want to check that out, comic-watch.com.
Okay.
Oh.
WandaVision. Do you want to talk about this? I'm not that familiar with WandaVision.
Well, WandaVision. Okay, yeah, sure. WandaVision has been given an official rating of TV PG, making the Disney Plus series the first Marvel Studios production not rated PG-13, TV-14. We also have a new promo focusing on Paul Bettany's vision, which I thought to be interesting. It says PG instead of PG-13. From what I've seen, it doesn't need to be PG-13, and ratings doesn't dictate how well something is. I'm sorry. And if you want to check that out at comicbookmovie.com.
Okay, and what do we have here? We have a little bit of artwork here from Sengi and Tembo and Ninja Nuns. That's interesting.
Before that, you got pronunciation here.
Yes, I say, from Facebook user. Thanks for the plug. And Ash Shaman is pronounced Ash Amon, kind of like an Egyptian name. At least that was the idea.
I would say a shaman.
Well, this says a shaman, but it's pronounced Ash Amon.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like an Egyptian name.
Like a shaman? Ash Amon. Okay. Well, I'm going to go with Ash Amon pronunciation, and I will try to keep that in mind in the future. I promise.
Okay, so here we are with the Tidewater Comic-Con. It's a new comic book day again. Don't forget to support your local comic book shop. Share with us which comics you picked up. Head over to Tidewater. So again, with the images here that are being shared from Scout and Scoot, we've got Sengi and Tembo and Ninja Nuns.
That Sengi and Tembo artwork just blows me away.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. Let's see. And then while we have more for the award for independent cosplay by genres, of course, check that out over on the Independent Creator Awards. All submissions here, but pick the category you are entering from the following list. We will award the entry with the top votes in that genre. So if you have somebody you know that's into cosplay and what genre it is, go check that out. This year's awards.
It has to be independent, though. It cannot be a mainstream cosplay. That's why you see the lack of sudden, like, this is going to be a harder one for some people to pull off. And if no one wins, no one wins. This is one of those awards where we didn't really care if anyone entered or won. We only cared that we offered it. I put 3 different categories to make people, to give people a variety of choices. Some people spend a lot of time working on accessories. For some people, it's the whole package. Some people, it's makeup. They just do amazing makeup for characters. So we tried to give them 3 different things. Like I said, this does not count, by the way, creators cosplaying their own characters. We may spin that off into something. We did it last year, I believe. We might do it this year. We'll figure it out in a couple, like a week probably or 2. Right now, we're trying to get through and start all the awards that we wanted to start, and then we'll think about adding a few at the very end like we did last year.
Okay. Yeah, well, get out there and share that post so we can get more people to take a look at that. Because I have seen some cosplay from independent sources before, and they're really good. So,
and another one for you guys, the final one for Thursday, and another one for you guys to talk about, Meredith.
Okay, Anthology of the Year, fan nominated, and this is in the category of words, which is going to be hosted by Chuck's Shop Talk. So words is anthology for this particular one. Make sure that you head over to the Independent Comics Awards group and vote and nominate if there is an anthology that is out there that was published in 2020. We want to know about it. Or kickstarted. Oh, okay. Is that the distinction?
We're allowed if it was released. The only problem is that if you do go for Anthology of the Year this year, you disqualify yourself for next year. You can't double down.
Okay.
Okay.
And there are quite a few options here. So obviously, we mentioned the Comic Book School presents the Creator Connection Panel 1, which has 144 pages. Cthulhu Invades Oz by Travis Gibb, and a whole lot of creators. I know, Announcer Voice Guy, you have a story in there. The Great Commandment, edited by Jack Holder. Zombies We're Human 2, Volume 2 by Austin Janowski and 19 amazing indie creators. And so head over there. If there's something that isn't listed here and it was released or kickstarted in 2020, make sure you let us know.
And speaking of Announcer Voice, this is my time to remind you that this year's awards will be broken up into 4 nights throughout February 21st. Actually, I have to throughout February 21. Sorry, I read that as 21st. It's year 21. I'm still trying to figure out where the damn dash goes. Meredith told me it goes in front. I think I got it right now. Then someone starts complaining it's supposed to be behind. Please help me. I don't know where the damn little dash is supposed to go. Is it before 21 or after? Help! Hosted by Comic Book Advocates, Geek Insider, Indie Vault, and Chuck's Shop Talk. And we will split the workload into 4 different award categories. That's why you guys have been hearing category word. It's going to be art, words, creation, crowdfunding, everything you need for comics. Due to the events of 2020, we felt no one should be judged this year, and it should be all fans' choices. So once a contest is created, it will run until the show itself, and we will announce the winners live. Voting is scheduled to end about an hour or 2 before every live show, but we might let it run to the very show start if it's close enough. If it's close enough, we'll just make the 2 different winners and see who wins as we announce it. Most votes will take place in the Independent Creator Awards Facebook group. So far, all of them will be. I don't know if 1 or 2 might spin off to go somewhere else. I doubt they will. These awards should this award show will prove the creation was not beaten during 2020. For all different contest work submitted must have been released in 2020 and not before, unless otherwise stated. Special rules for entry will be posted below the contest title, but for the awards rule, we use the Be a Pair system found at beapair.space. And for those wondering what Be a Pair is, I think I've actually got it loaded so you guys can know what it is to be a pair.
Be a pair. Be professional. Be ethical. Be authentic. Be respectful. Remember, in this industry for comics, be a pair. Art provided by Chris Mad. Look up Chris Mad Art on Facebook today.
A very rare time I didn't use music in one of my videos because I thought it didn't fit. Because you're talking about professional stuff. There's no music that goes with professional stuff. Anyone who's been through orientation can tell you it's so true. It's so true. All right. So here we go. Let's talk about the news on Friday, which we're going to give a quick reload to, as we have some breaking news you guys are going to get to see. Here it comes. It's loading. For the first time, you guys get to see the new banner. We teased this on Tuesday's show. Here it is now.
Where the love and passion for comics comes first.
Mm-hmm.
ComicBookAdvocates.com.
In collaboration with Geek Insider, all the shows that we have. The only show I don't really show there is The Week Ended, because they fold, and do Market Watch because they fold into the CNW Wire. They are all of them are Wire shows. So
I don't see Freaky Friday in there.
Well, Friday's not a Comic Book Advocates actual show.
That's true.
That's more me and you spinning it off. So, although we do have a site for the underground comics that we're going to be pushing more, and it'll wind up being part of that, which by default falls under the comic book. It's a comic book. We advocate for it. We just don't put it directly in there. It is from me and Meredith, so of course it is somewhat related. And you'll see the next one on February. Let's see. The next Friday show will be February 5th. So next time you get Freaky Friday will be February 5th. So pretty exciting.
Do we have anything planned for that? We'll talk about that after the show. Yeah.
We'll start. That's a week or 2 away. That's right near Valentine's Day, so there'll be plenty to talk about. Maybe we'll do the weirdest ads that we've seen coming to Valentine's Day. That'd be fun. Although we'd probably get spanked with like a.
We have to be careful with that.
Yeah. And I never understood that. How is playing a commercial a bad thing for free? How the hell
Right?
is there a lawyer in an office who thought you should have to pay me to play my commercial? Say what?
Maybe if you describe them and ask the people to write in and guess which one it is. That could be.
All right. Well, here,
All
Chuck,
right, here we go.
Chuck was live. For those who don't know, I'll take this one just because I watched some of it. Chuck's secret to getting you more work in comic book business. It'll blow your mind how simplistic most of the advice is, and people aren't following it. They just aren't. They don't do the right thing. They don't do the things they're supposed to do. They're idiots. There's no other way to put it. Like what Chuck says is very powerful stuff in here as well, but some of it's just basic stuff that no one's doing. And when you realize they're not doing it, you kind of shake your head and go, what the hell is wrong with this world? And then you watch the news this week and said, I'm starting to understand. Here you go, Meredith.
Who will you, the fan, choose to win an award in the ICA 2020? It's time for you, the fans, to award creators for their 2020 works. Head over to creatorsofwrittensins.com to find out more. And make sure that you join that Facebook group as well.
All right. Of course, we have now more of Chuck's Shop Talk coming out on January 12th. Chuck sits down with the celebrated creator of Boston Metaphysical Society, Madeline Hollyrosen, to discuss creating over multiple mediums and the pitfalls of modern-day authors. So find out what that means. You want to find out all that.
Chuck Pino's YouTube channel, yes?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, actually, I would suggest looking at it on Facebook. I know he's had some trouble with YouTube in the past couple of weeks. So he's more pushing his Facebook for now until he sorts out what's going on over there. I think he even said he might debate not doing it anymore if they're going to be that way. So that's why definitely, if you haven't subscribed to Chuck's page, and here's the thing, I don't know if people know this about Facebook. If you don't want to friend someone, but you want to follow them, that has been possible now for 3 years, guys. You can get their notifications without being their friends. It's a possibility, so you don't have to be the weird person who's like, I don't really know this person. Let me friend them and wait 3 years to get mad because they post something. Or I post something stupid, and then they point out that I'm stupid for posting something. Let's not play those games anymore, shall we? If you don't know someone, don't friend them. Follow them first.
Okay, with the ICA Awards, again, the award is Pinups, and this is going to be under the category of art, which falls under the hosting duties of Geek Insider, which I will be there for. So this is for pinups of only indie characters with the permission of the creator. So make sure that that you get the permission. If you don't own the rights, all IP rights violations will be removed and disqualified.
And instantly. Like if we get the smell of anyone using an IP without permission, we'll disqualify them and let them re-enter it later if they can prove it. Because we don't want this to. Notice it doesn't say a fan art award.
Right.
So please don't make it something it's not. We're not taking a stance on fan art. We're just saying we want to make sure the awards doesn't get in trouble for promoting something that is inherently illegal. And here you go, previews.
Oh, okay. Here we go. We have Create a Comic coming from Scoop Comics. Of course, you want to check that out in previews. January previews. That it looks like this. The number is Jan 211254, and that's from writer Richard Rivera and Michael Duran. Yes, Scoot is proud to present our first Create a Comic starring Grace and Hansy. Young creators can color 2 different stories. And one story, the word balloons have been left blank, and the aspiring writers, even those just learning how to make their first letters, get a chance to tell the story as they imagine it. They can even draw their own version of the characters using artwork examples for reference. Some younger kids may need a little help writing, but that's part of the fun, isn't it? Made for kids in all ages and the adults who want to share their love of comics. Check that out. It's going to be in shops, however, on March 31st, 2021. And go check it out. Make sure to let your comic book provider know about that you want that book. So, Meredith?
Okay, so I see A awards again, Podcast of the Year. This is under the category of creation. Podcasts can be informative, fun, and cover a range of topics for comics to fandoms. As part of CNW, we cover comics, but first, also fandoms and the things that interact with the comics industry. So again, if you have a podcast and you cover comics and fandom, We want to know about it. Make sure that you send in your nominations.
And to be clear, it basically is going by the industry standard. If it is the industry rule of, is it something that would fit in a Comic-Con?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you put this as a panel, would it fit? Are people going to Comic-Cons going to like this? And we're doing this. It was supposed to also be for the on-air awards, but people felt it wasn't described right, and I wasn't going to go back. And you can't redo polls once they're created for whatever reason, once they've been voted on. I think they're afraid of tampering with the voting numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So the basic idea is here, let's say that you cover He-Man as a show, and all you do is cover He-Man, that would qualify. The only thing that won't qualify is if your show is political, if it's about religion, or if it's tearing people down, of course, the pair standard still applies here, or if it's infomercial-like. No infomercials. You talk about your creations, like Silverline would be perfect. Silverline, what they do, I just don't know if you guys make it an actual podcast, but if you made what Silverline does a podcast, that would totally qualify because it's not an infomercial. You're talking about the creator. An infomercial to me is more like, how's those Silverline, Michael Lanning? Oh, they're awesome! I love Silverline.
Yeah. Silverline's all right.
Well, so if it can be invited into a Comic-Con, then it qualifies. So it doesn't have to be just comics. It's entertainment.
Yeah, because our industry is bigger, and we said this year. Mike was in the room when we talked about this. We're more than just comics. We're an industry now that is affected by Star Wars, has a generation of creators that are now creating because of Star Wars, because of Star Trek. They have mixed our genres, and they're also Star Trek comics now.
Well,
there's Star Wars comics. We just saw about the High Republic, so it's hard to differentiate where the line begins and ends now. We can tell you where it started, but we can't tell you because they're all interwoven now.
And of course, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is really adding to that too, and coming up to inspire more creators.
Oh yeah,
and we're looking at what now? It's been 10 years, so over 10 years. So yeah,
we're starting to see those creators show up and now doing things. So it's pretty awesome. It's the way of comics. We evolve or die. I thought this was cute. I was personally the one behind this, wanting to share this. So I just thought it was a good message. Take the time to read it today.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you take the role of the strong man, and I'll take the role of the kid.
Yay, fun!
All right, I'll do that. I can lift anything, for I am strong.
Can you lift me up?
Yes, you are brilliant and beautiful. Often the only person who can't see that is yourself.
Oh.
I'm sorry, that got me. I love that.
I saw that earlier this week. I like that.
Yeah, because you don't expect it. It's also one of those don't see something and think you know it, because what he does next is beautiful.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And that was from Catalyst Comics. Okay, so more for the ICA Anthology of the Year, fan nominated. Make sure that you head over there, and if you look at this image here, you will see the dates and times of all of the different show dates. Who's hosting it? So we've got Geek Insider, Indie Vault, Chuck's Shop Talk, and Comic Book Advocates Network. And so reserve your Sundays for these events, and make sure that you head over to the Facebook group and make your choices known.
All
6
right.
p.m. on Sunday, you'll see where we are.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Of course, we did this one, the Nerds of the Round. Of course, join us chat with A.A. Rubin, Aaron Donnelly, and Buddy Scalera about the comic book school. And there is
I think it was 2 different groups had it. So
okay.
this one's cool.
Can I?
See.
All right. David Hasselhoff auctioning off his kit car from Knight Rider. Will deliver it personally to the winner. I mean, come on. That's got to put it up a couple $1 million right there. Of course, if you're from the 80s, you know Knight Rider. You hear the song, it sends chills up. And if you don't know the 80s, know the 90s, because the one who played Mr. Feeney in Boy Meets World was the voice of Kit. That flipped me out when I heard that. That was crazy. I was like, what? No, Mr. Feeney was Kit. That almost destroyed the illusion. but it just made Mr. Feeney a little cooler.
That's so funny. All right, moving on. From comicbook.com, we have Marvel Studios Legends debuts on Disney Plus. The Marvel Cinematic Universe continues to expand. Revisit the epic heroes, villains, and moments from across the MCU. Each dynamic segment feeds directly into the upcoming, what is it, Legends series?
Upcoming series.
Okay.
Like the upcoming shows that are going to be happening. They're basically using this as an infomercial thing.
So the Disney Plus series this week, head over to comicbook.com to find out more.
Yeah, it's going to highlight, it's going to be behind the scenes studios of Marvel stuff. But it's cool if you like that stuff. Well, there are people who love that type of stuff. I don't like it because sometimes it takes away the magic. I don't want to see how something works. I just want to enjoy it works. You know?
Sometimes. And of course, again, Into the Suck launching January 28th from CB Zane.
Aftershock Comics, Miskatonic #3 4-page preview. So Miskatonic #3 hits your local comic book shop on January 20th. That's coming up really soon. But thanks to Aftershock Comics, Monkeys Fighting Robots have an exclusive 4-page preview. Head over to monkeysfightingrobots.co.
And if I can add, don't let that #3 throw you. I haven't heard about this comic. I went over there. I read that preview. Now I'm going to try to catch #1 and 2, or at least a trade, kind of like a prequel to what was said on page 4, because that was interesting when I read.
Okay.
So,
Good to know.
Ben 10 co-creator calls out comic book movie crediting system. The co-creator of Ben 10, Stephen T. Siegel, also known from Man of Action Studios, has criticized the comic book movie crediting system, suggesting that a thank you isn't enough. Of course, you want to check out that article on CBR.com. What do you think about that? When you see these big Avengers movies and things that are taken from stories that are comic book arcs written by several writers, and they just kind of throw, thanks for this. They don't really credit them per se for those comic arcs, for those comic arcs, I should say.
Every time those movies open, it should open with a credits page of the comic, where it's from, and also saying, go to your local comic book store to find more stories like this. And now, on to our main story.
Right. So, more than the thank you, he kind of goes into how it just feels like they're left holding the thanks while they did most of the work of creating the story, and then somebody kind of gets the screenplay credit, and they get credited, oh, well, such and such did this movie, so they get credited with that creator credit, as it were.
Well, those creator credits are so important because you put it in your portfolio and you say, hey, I have this body of work, and hopefully that leads to more work.
Absolutely. Yeah, everything you do is advertisement for your next project.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what do we have here? The 21 most anticipated comics of 21, Reign of X, Future State, Star Wars, The High Republic, and more promising new comics from IGN.com.
21 is going to be outstanding. Some of the things they have in this list were great. The independent creators, the indie books coming out look amazing. It's going to be a good year.
So I have a question about that, but because in a previous Comics Newswire, we were talking about like all the stuff that's coming out of MCU, all the stuff that's coming out of Star Wars. And do you feel that it's just a tidal wave and a lot of stuff is just going to get lost?
Kind of oversaturated?
I think in
Yeah,
reverse,
really.
you'll see what really stands out. This is going to be like a year of gladiators where you're going to see.
Yeah, and I'm all about pacing. Give me give me a little bit of pacing. Otherwise, it's just overwhelming,
Well, I mean, the same thing. We've been dying for new stuff. Like after 2020 let us down, we've been dying for this. I mean, Disney Plus was never what it was supposed to be. Thank God for Netflix. Thank God for binge watching. We didn't get a lot of our shows were preempted. This is going to be a good year to quickly swing back. Comic books, I mean, I've always been putting out books. So this is all the comics you're talking about here. That's not as big. The shows, it's just going to keep people entertained. It may be nicer because if they're watching things, they're not typing on the social medias.
Well, the only thing I could say about that, though, there's a little bit of a difference between the saturation of comic books out there versus the saturation of TV shows and Netflix and stuff. Because, for instance, on Netflix, you pay $15 a month. But for the comics, you're talking about $4 or $5 a comic book. So, it's really going to somebody's going to really have to stand out for you to continue reading this stuff.
Mm-hmm. And my attitude is almost like that, the analogy of, you walk into a candy store and, you pick a couple of your favorites, but you can't just go in there and eat everything. Otherwise, you're going to get sick.
Well, it's going to be an interesting year. It's going to be apostrophe 21 is going to be a very interesting year.
Yep, we're going to see it. Here we go from Brian L. Hawkins.
Black Cotton. Set in an alternate reality where the social order of white and black is reversed, an elitist family rallies around their police officer's son as he shoots a minority white woman. Interested? Retailers can still pre-order directly from Scout Comics. And this reminds me of that John Travolta movie that they had years ago. There's John Travolta and Henry Belafonte, and they did the same thing. They switched it. It was called White Man's Burden. So it's around the same vein as that. So if you're seeing that, you kind of have an idea of what this is going to be about.
And it's an interesting way for people who don't get things to sometimes suddenly get it.
Mm-hmm. All right. From comicbook.com, Earth is spinning faster than usual, and it might mean that we have to fix time as a result. Head over to comicbook.com to find out more.
And we have done this before. We've had that extra second. I think about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, we had like a false start on a new year because we had to add a second to catch the atomic clock. This is all about the atomic clock. It's sitting with the universe. Basically, we're spinning faster than we're supposed to, which is offsetting everything. And it's not in a like, oh my God, we're going to die way. I read the article to make sure to not.
Yeah.
We're talking like a millisecond of a second. Like, if a second had milliseconds of 60, it would still be a millisecond of one of those 60. That's why you're talking about 1 second after a decade or 12 years of to reset the atomic clock. That's it.
Well, it's the same reason why in the Greco-Roman calendar we have the leap year. And in the Jewish calendar, I think they actually add a month every year, every 7 months. There's an extra month in there. So, yeah, this makes sense. It's nothing to be worried about, even though it looks like they got a picture of the doomsday clock there for some reason. But it's okay. It's okay. Calm down.
Hey, got me to click. I was like, what?
You know what? Nobody gets out of this life alive, all right? I'm just saying.
Oh, boy. Speaking of which, onto this picture of a skull. The House of Indie with Brian L. Hawkins dropped today. He's worked with Scout Comics official HQ Mad Cave Studios Black Box Comics, and very soon with Xenoscope Entertainment. We speak about creative process, the human condition, the direction of a story, and so much more. Click the link at houseofindiepod.com / Brian Hawkins to listen, and make sure to leave some thoughts about the episode in the comment section. Yes, they like to know what you think. Go leave some comments. And of course, that's houseofindie.com.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of it, because we were talking a lot about the ICA awards with podcasts and things, it is really important to the creators of those to have people who not only tune in and listen, but like it, share it, leave a comment. It really helps them increase their visibility when it comes to going through the noise and stuff. So if there's a podcast that you like, head over to your favorite listening app, give it a like, share, and give it a comment. It helps a lot.
Yeah, it's that algorithm.
Yeah, and coming from Marvel.com, Eddie Brock pushes back against the darkness in Venom number 32. Can Eddie overcome his greatest challenge to date? What could that be? Head over to Marvel.com to find out.
It does not look like a buddy cop comedy there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now coming from Scout Comics' imprint Scoot, Wild Bull and Chipper number 1. 2 comic book geeks become the world's first superheroes. Chipper has the ability to give others superpower, but he's not the best judge of character, and he's made some mistakes, like accidentally creating the first supervillains. Who better to help him than the most heroic person he ever knew in school? The only problem is Chipper hasn't aged, but Bull is 30 years older. With a team that includes an 80-year-old powerhouse, Major Granny, shape-shifting emo twins, Pete and Repeat, and a sour mystic, the amazing Mesmer, they must take on ridiculous villains. Of course, that's in your previews. Previews number Jan 211525. Let your local retailer know. And the good thing about this is one of those $1.99 comics. So we're definitely going to get that into the hands of some kids because it looks like a wild ride.
I would totally put that in my library.
Yeah, absolutely. Just Major Granny. I want to see Major Granny.
I want to see Major and Pete and Repeat. Oh my gosh, that was just a throwback to my youth.
Oh god.
Like, oh gosh. Yeah. Terrible.
I think I know where you're going with that.
Ego Raven, the heir of the first unicorn, is only at this point in time only $127 away from unlocking the first stretch goal at 1K. Everyone gets a PDF of the series prequel, Legend of the Silk Rose. This is by Daphne Lage. She has funded in the first day, so we're reaching for those stretch goals. Make sure that you head over there. The art is really good. I read the first story for reviews through Geek Insider. Head over there and give it some support.
And I want that prequel story, so get over there and back her, please. Mm-hmm. There's more comics from me. All right.
Absolutely.
More artwork, especially. Now, speaking of Comic Book Nation Comics Pools List Future State launch, you want to see what that is? Check it out at comicbook.com.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
And this is very interesting art from Magnetic Press, a Brindle Kickstarter by Frederick Bramad and Federico Bertolucci, featuring variant artist Ben Caldwell, has now ended. Oh no! Stay tuned for more information soon. This is on Kickstarter, so wah wah. You missed the exclusive limited edition collector's box set. But head over there, give it some love, and you know what? I mean, if you look out for it and maybe contact the creators, they might have some extra issues. We'll see.
See, my gosh, look at that!
That is gorgeous.
Pre-order coming soon for this, guys, so you're not going to miss out totally.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get over there and check it out. Look over there.
With variant covers and everything. So. Let's see, Mr. Announcer Voice.
Face to the announcer. Look at that.
That's 300 of You're Not Alone's. That's the 300th edition. And it's just a reminder that we've survived so much and that we can keep going from here. And of course, in Facebook fashion, it found the worst picture it could possibly have taken to be the preview picture.
Well, it wasn't.
Thank you, Facebook, for always clowning me. And I got pulled over just a half an hour after this picture.
Oh, no.
Funny story that I'll share off air. I will say this: never get out of the car. The cops do not like when you get out of the car. No matter what you want to tell them, you're not allowed to meet them at their police car.
Yeah, no. You stop the car. You put your keys on the dash, and you put your hands on the steering wheel, and you just shut up and wait for them to approach you. Okay?
That is not how last night went.
Oh God!
Gosh.
And on next week's news, Rob Anderson.
If I made it to this one, I'm fine.
Arrested for knocking on the police officer's window and asking, "Do you know why you pulled me over?"
No, I was wrong. This one, I'll own it. This one,
I
was wrong.
Uh-oh. All right. Star Wars: The High Republic officially introduces young Yoda. And again, the High Republic is 200 years before Skywalker graced the galaxy. I've been waiting for something like this. Check out that preview at comicbook.com. You saw how fast he moved in Attack of the Clones. You think he might move a little faster 200 years younger? I hope we get to find out.
Now, see, is this really young Yoda?
Young Yoda would be almost Grogu's age, and that's not even young.
Well, wasn't Yoda like 900 years old in 4, 5, and 6?
Yeah, I think it's like 900 years.
But so here, I guess my question would be, because after I watched Mandalorian, do they age differently? Is it like dog years? Okay.
Well, Goku's 70 years old.
Right.
Is he 70 or 50?
One of them. He was either 50 or 70. Yeah, and
He's older than me.
Teenager years, we have to jump 130 years at this point.
Right.
Unless because he's a clone, he suddenly starts aging quicker. I'm not spoiling again. This is a guess. I'm just saying Mandalorian season 3 or season 3. We're going to see teenage Goku. You stupid man. Buzz off.
Stupid are you? That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess I'll take this one because I shared it. So at the Deland Comics and Collectibles Show, January 17th of 21, we've got guest creator Roland Mann from Silverline Comics heading over there. And I did tag Luke and Rob to see if they are going to go. It would be really super cool to meet up with them. I will be there under the Geek Insider banner. I'll buy a ticket. It's not like I have a press pass, but I'm going to be interviewing people. And because it's Sunday, we might be doing Sunday Comics Brunch from the land. Who knows?
Oh, I love that. I'll get that parade feeling going.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not tied to a table, so I can walk around and talk to anybody I want.
There you go. And walk away from people you don't. Anyway. All right. Coming up, a comic book preview from FlickeringMyth.com. King in Black, Venom versus Carnage, #1. Next week sees the release of King in Black, Venom versus Carnage #1, and you can get a sneak peek at the issue right here, courtesy of FlickeringMyth.com.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta be honest, I'm kind of let down by the outfit.
Yeah,
I get that. I'm not. I get it. Like I totally understand it. I just think they could have done so much better with that. Like we've seen the Venom ones where like the girl's half naked, showing some of her the side of her body.
That looks like it could be like a BDSM kind of outfit.
Not even BDSM. Like it looks like something that someone is trying really hard to do something with, but it looks like she's wearing like the entrails of Venom, and she's killed Venom. Like what's his name? The guy who's always trying to kill Spider-Man because he's Hunter. Craven.
Oh yeah.
It looks like Craven, but she beat Venom, but it's not what it is. So I'm all lost by this one. I was kind of disappointed. But I know they were talking about MJ is going to be also part of this, where MJ is going to get a symbiotic uniform or something at one point. So stay tuned. Marvel's giving away, and the X-Men too are becoming Venom, right?
I couldn't tell you. There's so much Venom going around now. That symbiote really got stretched. But and the same thing with Gwen Stacy. All due respect to Gwen Stacy, to me, Mary Jane seems to have more of the attitude to have that kind of persona, but I don't mind Gwen Stacy.
It sounds like Lanning's like she should have stayed dead. Camp.
I'm not necessarily, because I loved Spider-Verse. That's all I'm going to say. I really don't have that big of an opinion of it. So, all right, Meredith, I think this is you.
Is this mine? Okay, so the MegaCon Orlando C19 update. Dear fans, we're looking forward to an awesome MegaCon Orlando this year. When we announced our March 21 show dates, we were optimistic. However, your friendly neighborhood MegaCon Orlando squad also secured backup dates just in case. Although we'd hoped to see you sooner, our spidey sense helped us decide to go with Plan B so that we can deliver the safest, best possible fan experience. So MegaCon Orlando 21 will now take place from August 12th through the 15th at the Orange County Convention Center. Make sure that you head over to megacon.com to I think it's megaconorlando.com, and you can get the updates there, get your tickets and vendors tables if there are some available, and I'm sure that there are. And they will have some information as far as hotels and accommodations.
All right, some more Blade Runner. This time, Blade Runner 2029 #2. Titan Comics' Blade Runner 2029 #2 is out next week, and we have the official preview of the issue for you here on FlickeringMyth.com. So are they going to get it right? We'll have to wait to 2029 to see.
Okay, from Wayne Arthur Hall, posting on Scout Comics Official HQ, episode number 8 with Richard Rivera. And let's see, what were they talking about here? Don't miss the first Scout Trailblazers episode of 21. featuring Richard Rivera, associate publisher of Scoot. It's all in episode 8. Make sure you head over there and tune in to their podcast.
Cool. And I've been waiting for this story. Louise and Walter Simonson returning to X-Men and Legends series. Walter and Louise Simonson's X Factor is a seminal run in the mutants' history, and now they are reuniting for one last X Factor story. And if you don't recognize the name of Louise Simonson, think Death of Superman. That's right. She was part of the Death of Superman back in the 90s. So you know she's going to be bringing some interesting stories, her and Walter. So check that out at screenrant.com.
Yeah, that artwork is like it's familiar to me, like the 80s, 90s kind of style. So I'm really digging it, guys.
Yeah, she also worked with Liefeld on some X Factors. Isn't that right, announcer guy?
I believe so. It was either I thought it was X-Force, maybe they worked together.
Yes, X-Force, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I know it was the X-Family.
X-Force, yep.
So, Mr. Announcer Guy, is Bobby Gregory around so he could talk about Cat Dad and Supermom?
Not today.
Not today? All right. So let's talk about the Cat Dad and Supermom, An Elefant Never Forgets. This is part of the previews catalog. And so Scoot imprint, here comes Cat Dad and Supermom, a young boy's real-life superheroes, are his wonderfully ordinary parents. They help Jax navigate life's challenges and the everyday lessons of growing up. In his dreams, they transform into costumed superheroes who help teach him right from wrong. When kids bully the kindly lunch lady, it forces Jax to wrestle with his conscience in his sleep. An Elefant Never Forgets is an all-ages adventure that deals with the serious subject of bullying. With a farting elephant, I might say. I don't know why they didn't put that in there, but you can get this. Contact your comic book store and say you want Jan 211523.
That's page 317 in previews, just in case they have any problems finding it.
He doesn't have that bookmarked at all.
Being part of the comic book industry can bring out a lot of emotions. Learning to not treat the business end of the industry emotionally is priceless. Taught by Joel Rodriguez. If you're going to get into comics, that's important to know. A lot of people can learn that lesson.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Tuskegee airs Flames of Destiny. This is amazing art.
Yes.
And I want to say, because I'm not familiar with it, but I mean the Tuskegee Airmen, really fantastic, fascinating story of World War II and the pilots. So make sure that that you head over here. Announcer Guy, if you can scroll down just a tad so I can see what they have here. Get your copies of the critically acclaimed comic book series today. Yes. TuskegeeAirs.com.
Yes, of course. There's also a couple movies, Tuskegee Experiment with starring Lawrence Fishburne. I think Red Tails is also.
Red Tails is awesome. Yeah.
So check that out.
Okay, is that it for Friday?
Yes, it is. If you have any news you want for us to give to the world, all you have to do is send us an email at comicsnewswire@yahoo.com, and we will get your news to be heard by the world. And we want you to become an anchor or a reporter for us. That's right. To help us continue to grow, we've not only gotten into new groups this year, but we're actually actively now be looking for other people to join us. We want it to be just more than one or two voices. We want it to be as many voices as possible. And real quick, at the week that was, now in previews, January 21st, January the 21st year, order through the 18th. So that means you have 10 days to order the amazing comics that are part of this. Of course, this is our newsroom itself that you're seeing with our new lineup of shows, as you guys can see here. And our next show will be on Sunday for the Sunday Comics Brunch. We're taking Saturday off. I have Christmas lights to take down, so I need some time, kids. Then on Monday, we had some headlines that were pretty good. And New Year's Con pre-Crom Bash, Pops did the 10th month-ual. Is it month-ual? It's not annual.
Sure, why not?
Month-ual Crom Con.
Monthly, I guess.
Monthly, there we go. There's a word for it. I knew. And we have some good stuff here, and we're going to be doing some headlines. You guys are going to be able to see Flickering Myth, of course, the Generation Shattered kind of explain things, and they're the thoughts I put into all these different things you can see in our newsroom right now. And you can see some of these things that we talked about even today. It was kind of a weird week of news, more so ads for the upcoming stuff, which I love, and it's expected, but not a lot of stuff. But here are some things if you want to use public domain characters. I'm not a huge fan of public domain. I don't know about you guys. I'd rather create something new and not worry than play in someone else's box. Like I did that with the Cthulhu invades Oz, and you have to do so much research to not know who you're stepping on, whose toes, and who might sue you. It sucks. And then one of my favorite actresses is actually going to be with Sarah. I want to say her last name's Sahiri. I always say it wrong.
Shahi,
maybe. Yeah, she's amazing. She's been in so many different things. She's one of those actresses that you don't think you know, but she's been in so many different things, and she's going to be playing a part of Black Adam in here. I'll show you who she is so you know who I am talking about really quickly, because this thing pops up things that are weird. Here we go. So you're going to be like, oh, I know her. It's one of those actresses.
Yeah, I don't know her.
Really?
I don't
She had a USA show and all. She's a great actress too.
What show was she in? I've
She's done a
seen her.
lot.
I've seen her in a lot. Yeah.
Here, we'll real quick, so we actually have a minute. We'll look at our IMDb and we'll see if Lanning actually
there was a
does
show
know.
that I was really into.
Person of interest, maybe.
No.
Wow, this is IMDb changed how it does. Usually, you go right to the.
Yeah, I was messing around with it the other day. That kind of confused me. Some of this.
There we go. She was in Alias,
Yep.
Bullets Over the Head, Old School.
Nope.
Barely Legal is the show I loved her in. She's been in a show called
The Rookie.
Rookie. Yes,
Yep.
she was Nolan's girlfriend for a very short bit.
Yes,
had
and
to
then
write
there
her
was
up.
the show that Reverie was the other one that I was watching, and I'm so mad that they canceled that.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to be on shows that last, but it's not her fault. She's amazing. On ironically, on The Rookie, they had to write her off because she got pregnant, and they just didn't want to give Nolan a new kid. They debated it, but they had to write her off, which is sad. It's sad that women have to give up being an actress because they get pregnant, and that's
Or maybe the show's creators weren't creative enough, because there's been plenty of actresses who have still doing the show pregnant and did not even show that they were pregnant. So I don't know if The Rookie's that way. I've never seen The Rookie.
That's what all the camera angles are for, you guys. You know. So,
Yeah, they've done it.
In fact, one of the women from Walking Dead was pregnant during Walking Dead too, and they didn't have a pregnancy thing for her. So, never mind. That's
well, it was just a choice, I guess, with the show too. You know, they decided because she wasn't a full character yet. It was one of she was a supporting character, and they're harder to really justify going through all that effort for sometimes if you haven't full listed them. I liked them together. I thought it would have been cool. She was also on Chicago Fire for a few episodes.
I'm going to be honest. I have never seen any of these shows.
Really?
Oh my gosh! You know
I know
what?
a couple of them, but I've never.
I would say if you can find Reverie, it would probably be right up your alley. If not, maybe Nita's. Nita, if you're listening, check out Reverie.
No,
She was on Psych.
And there's a couple of see, I've only seen like one episode of Psych, not because I didn't like it. I just keep forgetting that it exists. Ray Donovan, I've been wanting to watch Ray Donovan because I love Liev Schreiber, but I keep forgetting it exists. I can't stand Rush Hour. None of them.
But look at her. Just look at how many things.
How many things? Yeah.
I've seen a few Supernaturals. I
She's
forgot
even in Frasier.
Oh my gosh! What is she, like a kid when she was on Frasier? She had to be young, huh?
She looks beautiful even now today. That's enough of me having a crush live on the news.
Right, there you
I
go.
know I've never seen her, but obviously she's been in a whole bunch of stuff that I've heard of. So she's the actress from Black Adam.
And this week's Project to Back was Omni #1. So as we're closing out the show, Guys, what were the top stories for you on Thursday's rundown? What jumped out at you for Thursday?
I'm trying to remember which was Thursday.
Yeah, or what stories just jumped out at you today?
Yoda.
Was
Yeah.
it?
Young Yoda. Young Yoda. Yoda's
Yeah.
my favorite character from Star Wars. So
That'll make a headline. Meredith, did you anything jump out at you?
No, nothing in particular except for the ICA awards. I mean, that's going to be one of my main focuses, is making sure that at least my part for Geek Insider has an amazing show. So ICA awards, make sure that you head over there to the Facebook group and vote and nominate.
To me, MegaCon was kind of a big one because Meredith knows from behind the scenes that we were hoping to see MegaCon happen at the end of our awards.
Well, I think, Rob, what you and I had talked about beforehand was before even January came up, we were like, we might see something in the springtime. So I will probably be looking more towards April, May. Anything before then was kind of a crapshoot.
Oh yeah, we knew we were under no disillusion that this was going to be an uphill battle. And there's smaller shows starting, of course, D-Land just coming up. Next weekend.
And when we got the news about MegaCon last year, I mean that felt devastating. This time it was like,
well, because we knew we were getting the second one. I think that we know we'll get the second one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like comic book day, moving into August.
Yeah,
I love that's my birthday month, so of course it's the best time to have it. So
yeah, no, I agree with you. It's my birthday month too. So
hey,
August is always,
August is an awesome month. Period.
It's always been kind to me. It's always been a good one to me.
Leos.
Actually, I'm a Virgo. I'm technically a crust baby.
Where are you?
August 24th.
Okay.
21st.
Yeah, you're close enough.
So I get you, Rob. I get
you. Yeah. But, thank you all for tuning into the first show of the year. We did also have some things mixed in today that were for the past couple weeks, too. I tried to circulate in some stuff that might have been just a tip older than we should have really had on the shows this week. We're gonna like we talked about, we're gonna try to lean down some of the stuff. We're really trying to look more towards the comic aspect and the fandom aspect. You'll probably see less casting notes. The reason we showed you about Sarah's stuff is that she was reading the comic books, so that was an important moment. We're trying to get you the inspirational stuff. We skipped stories today, like the actress Haley, who's going to be in the Hawkeye. Disney Plus, talking about how she didn't know if she was right for the role because we didn't think that was newsworthy. We understood why another site covered it, but we want to bring you the real news, not the fluff pieces. There are so many other places out there that will talk about things. We want to talk about Yoda and how he doesn't look young. Those are the important breaking news because that's a character we all grew up with, and now he's younger than us. How did that happen? But thank you all for tuning in. It's going to be a great year. Mike's got something to say, actually. I only watched some of this show, but excited. Wondering if that will be the last X Factor story. Marvel loves to pull creators back again. So we have a few minutes, actually. So actually, if you guys don't mind, I thought there was some exciting stuff that they were actually talking about in 21. If you don't mind, because it's your show, you can say no now.
I don't mind. We have time.
Okay. You're in control, buddy.
Well, it's your show. I'm just the producer. I'm just
and
the producer.
Your voice, make it so. What do you want to share here?
It's just at the end of the show, I'll come back and probably be angry at the back end. We're all there. How dare you not? No, let's see. Where is it? Damn it. So you guys don't have to see the scrolling doom I'm doing right now. I'm trying to find the 21, the things to look forward to in 21.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are some things on there that I was like, even I didn't know were coming out. Like, there's another X-Men thing. And for those who don't know, my love of comic books starts with X-Men. And the X Factor series, I was getting into comics right around then. So, like, that's right up my alley. Oh, where is it? I hate when you can't find something. You're just on air. Just
Well, is that coming off of the Hickman stuff? Is Hickman still writing that?
yes, he'll be part of some of it. But they're also bringing back Claremont. We had actually talked about a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
We brought back, and that's part of the ongoing thing that he's going to be part of. And for right now, for whatever reason, I cannot find it. I'm going to go to Twitter real quick. Give me a second.
I was going to say, do you remember which site it was?
Well, I can find it real quick, but I did want to play this, and we'll play it now. I won't play it when we're on the X. I'm stolen for time, and I want to get this in. Mm-hmm. Check out this video.
Hello? Hello? Can anybody hear me?
Welcome to the Compendium of Dread, an anthology of dark fiction that encompasses crime, horror, the paranormal. Your perceptions of the world around you may forever be changed.
So Meredith, is there a stretch goal coming with that?
There is a stretch goal. The first one has been unlocked. It's a 3-inch sticker with a bloody hand on it. The next one is at the $1,000 mark, and that is going to be for a bookmark. And then there's a third one. If it reaches that, I think I've got about 20 days, maybe 19 at this point, where it will come with a metal card. So I've got that, which is going to be cool because I can either leave it as a card or I'm going to have an option to put a magnet on the back.
Hey, Rob, I did notice, however, we didn't do any Kickstarter completions today.
Nothing is completed yet.
Well, JD Calderon's was.
No, he's got it listed that he's done in a week.
I don't think so.
Oh,
I have to look now.
Thought...
I might have a typo then in the actual background.
Yeah, I believe it was Chronicles of Oswald. It ended yesterday afternoon, if I'm not mistaken. Well, yeah. In fact, I'm going to tell you I know because I looked at my bank account this morning.
Oh, I did see. We didn't know. It must be written. There must have been an error in putting in our list. I didn't realize it was ending this week.
Yeah.
All right. So
did you find it?
I found the thing I want. Yeah. But
Okay, cool.
I was gonna. Before we did that, I wanted to talk to Michael. He's got something coming with Silverline.
Oh yes, they're going to be launching Kickstarter next Thursday, which is January 14th, and it is 2 comics, like always from Kickstarter. From Silverline, which always has their books done before we go to Kickstarter. So when you see that risk and challenges on the Kickstarter, no, there's no risk. It's ready to go. So yeah, and of course I did a variant cover for Teen Beetle, inked by the awesome Tommy Floramonte. I got to see some of his inks. It looks better than the pencils, in my opinion. But so check that out. Be sure to check that out. You'll probably hear a lot about that coming up.
Yeah, and here is the thing. By the way, I was looking for the 21 most anticipated comics. Reign of X is coming. So after the dawn comes the rain. So what happens when the X-Men stop being the outcast freaks and start being the centerpiece of the universe? That's kind of cool. Of course, we've talked a lot about Future State and what's coming with that. Snow Angels. This is kind of interesting. Definitely worth a link. And remember, you can find this link in our actual newsroom. It's part of it. This will be probably one of the things that will now be a headline. The Eternals is back. Check out what's going on with them. They're actually coming back for the first time since they were slaughtered in 2018. Batman and Catwoman's making already big waves. Scott Snyder, remember that guy? We talked a lot about him last year about this book.
Yep.
They actually had to change the name of this book, too.
Really?
Yeah, at one point. Go ahead.
No, well, yeah, it was. It's Noctera now. I actually read the first 4 pages of it this morning, and it's interesting. I'll put it that way. But no, what was it supposed to be before?
I'd have to go back and look. I forgot what it was, but it they had to change it. I remember that. I'd have to look it up. Next Friday, we'll try to bring it up.
If you like Scott Snyder, it's that same Scott Snyder goodness that he brought to Court of Owls. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely that kind of feel to it. Let's check it out real quick. So I think their Kickstarter actually.
Oh, that's right. This was a Kickstarter, wasn't it?
Yeah. There we go. Image. There we go. Let's see. It's all in the updates. If you ever want to find the history of a project, all you got to do is go all the way back to the beginning, because everyone always talks about it. This is how you find the dirt kids. Right.
Okay. I see what it looked like. It was called Nocturnal.
Nocturnal. There it is. Ha
I had to change the name.
Because there's other things called Nocturnal.
No, I get that, but
there's another comic out there.
Yeah,
and it was considered stepping on toes, and I am a backer, so I can actually see those posts. So,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to win the stream and talk to him so bad, but here are the other things from 21 that are coming out. Venom 200, the Swamp Thing is back. They keep trying with this thing. This Swamp Thing. This is big, though. This I thought was amazing. Dicko Shrug, the uncompromising life of the artist behind Spider-Man. And this is going to be a comic, let's see, his tragic passing in 2018, co-created. They don't say if this is going to be a book or not, though.
I'm assuming so, since it's got by David Carey on it.
Yeah, it doesn't say artist, right?
Right. And
yeah.
Hermes Press at the bottom.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's a book and I can read it. Let me see.
It's the uncompromising life of the.
I know we're running out of time.
I'm assuming that it is, considering that it's by a writer that doesn't really make a statement. Like I know what you're saying. Is it a collection of his art? But it looks like looks kind of like a biography, which is pretty much would probably be the first and only Ditko biography, huh? If there was one. Yeah, there you go. It says first in-depth biography.
$49 for a hardcover, so it's got to have art in it.
Oh yeah,
because that breaks my heart, because now it's not going to be a book I can get on.
Click see all formats and editions, because it might have
just hardcover. Yeah, usually it lists.
It's in pre-order now, so I know, like with Kindle, with Kindle editions and stuff like that. Right. In order to be up there, you have to actually upload the manuscript.
And like everyone's saying, they could just take the art out of it and make it into the opposite of into just a word book. I can't wait to hear about that.
Well, even Kindle though, sometimes they used to, I don't know for a while, but you can still see the artwork.
Yeah,
some of that. So,
Star Wars High Republic.
Yep. So more for the most anticipated
post-death metal Batman books. So apparently, Joker and Bane are setting up to have a go this year. They're going to go after each other, and it looks like Joker might actually be trying to make him a good guy. That was the rumor, because there's going to be a book called Batman and Joker. But they didn't say which Batman.
Did they say which Joker?
No. So yeah.
There's even one coming out about him being a parent. So
yes. And apparently he's a better parent than me. Miller World is also coming out. Marvel's Aliens and Predators. That's right. Marvel gets to play with Aliens and Predators. That's going to be kind of.
Oh wow, yeah. That used to be Dark Horse, huh?
Yeah, that's a big loss. Big loss for Dark Horse.
Mm-hmm.
Haha, issue number 1. And that's because Disney now owns them, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, that's not anything on Dark Horse. It was just a parent company.
His 20th Century Fox was
there it is.
Aliens.
This is the X-Men thing. And this goes to what Mike was saying. Mike says when they brought back Claremont back to write like 20 pages of New Days Future story and bundled it together was the greatest hits for the stuff I have, and charged lots of money for it. It was mad. Yeah. And Trish and I are in for the Compendium of Dread. Trish is excited. But this is big. This X-Men Legends thing. Oh, yeah. This is the first time a Marvel book's actually got me really, really, really excited. This is going to be the first of these 3 X-Men Legends, which are each issues bringing back classic X-Men creators to tell new stories set during their classic eras. For example, Fabian Naziri and Brett Booth are finally solving the mysterious, elusive third Summers brother, which was something that I've talked about. It was supposed to be Gambit. I swear to you, it was supposed to be Gambit.
Oh, right. I do remember your theory behind that.
And now we might see it or not see it. I'm in. This is taking.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this so what it looks like. So this is, from what I'm gathering, this is their stories and the universes they created or they used during the X-Men. Which that's really cool.
Not talking about the Lockheed thing, by the way. That was something. This is Sandman universe, by the way. And that house behind you, that's Constantine's house.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, Justice League.
House.
Lock and Key, that was a good series.
Yeah, Justice League's coming back with a brand new one. Abbott 1973. The new Daredevil. Who could it be? We already told you.
We already know that.
And here's I'm Not Starfire. And apparently Starfire had a kid. And then they're going to go over what it is to be a kid. I don't think they ever said who the dad is.
I think Starfire actually had 2 kids, and this is the other one. So, from what I'm gathering, but she's not Starfire. Whoever she is, she's not Starfire.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's interesting. You guys are going to get to look into it. That's coming up. But that's it, guys. We're out of the time for the show. You guys can say your goodbyes. I'll be in the background waiting for the show to end. And that's it for the announcing for this edition.
I'll say let the Kickstarter champion go first.
Oh, why, thank you very much. Okay, so I'm Meredith Loughran, and I do have a Kickstarter. It is an anthology of dark fiction. It is called The Compendium of Dread. Head over to Kickstarter, give it a little love. If you can't support it right now, that's fine. Please give it a like and a share. Send it out to the ether so that other people can enjoy the madness and the murder that will be in the book. The reason behind the Kickstarter is to not because of the book necessarily, but because it is going to support the artists that are going to be working on the scripts that I'm taking this prose from, creating scripts and getting art. In fact, I have already invested in 8 pages of art for the compendium of from the Compendium of Dread. It is called The Dying. It is a kind of an apocalyptic zombie kind of paranormal type of comic book. Really about sharing the artwork with that. I am working on the lettering. So unfortunately, I don't art like this creative guy, so I have to pay for mine. It helps offset the art. I've got about at least four scripts working from that book right now. And so any support will go towards paying those artists and just keeping on with the, paying it forward and getting more work done. Back to you, C.
All right. Of course, I'm C. Michael Lanning, your co-anchor here on Week Ended. You can catch me sometimes on the Silverline streams. I hope to have a couple books out this year.
It'll happen.
Silverline. And of course, I am so looking forward to the work I'm doing with Meredith right now. I tell you, look, she added to that what I don't think anybody else could have. And so I'm looking forward to that.
I want to know when you're going to start giving us a sneak peek of the art.
I'm just waiting on my co-creator to give me the go-ahead. So
well, we'll have to bug the announcer voice guy to see when, because he's the logistics guy at Terraform Comics. So we'll be bothering him about that. Like when do you think, Rob? When do you think? Because we are very excited about the project.
Yeah. I think we're out of time. It's time to say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Outro.
Comics are awesome.